Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just for Women Africa. And my name is Ololeko Amusot, the founder of Just for Women Africa. And today we're on a Zoom interview all the way from South Africa. We have with us Captain Londi, who happens to be the first female dredge master in Africa. She'll be talking to us about how she got into the maritime industry, what she's currently doing, and her plans for the future. So stick around and we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, you're back to Just for Women Africa. We have with us Captain Londi. Captain, you're welcome to the show.
Hi, Lekam. How are you, my brother?
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Thanks a lot for joining us here on Just for Women Africa.
All right, thank you for having me. It's long overdue, guys.
Very long overdue. Very, very long overdue. The captain is really, really busy, but she's taking time out of her busy schedule to be with us today. Okay, Captain Londi. You happen to be the first female dredge master in Africa. How does that make you feel?
So, as a ship navigational officer, so I drive ships. That's what I do. I happen to be Africa's first female dredge master. So a lot of other dredge masters, male. I just happen to be a female dredge master. And I don't know how it feels because the industry on its own, just being able to navigate a ship, is something that is still not common within within our African waters. And I think that's what has brought so much attention around my brand, around my title. But I think I feel honored to have been able to lead the way, and that way I have paved it for so many other young girls that aspire to be ship captains one day.
Okay, Captain Londi. All right. Being the first female dredge master in Africa, could you tell us how did they get into the industry? How did they get started? Why did they have the love for the ocean?
So as you can imagine, I don't know if the joke exists in Nigeria, but there's this thing that says a black man can't swim. So immediately growing up in such setups where you can't swim, there's no swimming pool at home, even in your school there's no swimming pool, so it's an absolute mood kill, so to speak. So most of my friends didn't like the subject just because of the ocean, but I had good maths and science, and that was the prerequisites in my high school back then, long ago. I don't want to expose my age, but it was a prerequisite to have maths and science. And that's how I entered into maritime studies in high school, grade 10. Further, it became my first and last choice. I fell in love with the subject. It didn't help that I'm also a Pisces. So I was just like, I belong in the ocean. So furthermore, I then went to varsity to study maritime studies. And then I was accepted by the largest shipping company, Maersk Shipping Line. That's when I became a cadet. That's where my grooming started. I then worked as an officer there, as a ship navigational officer for a couple of years, and then came back to Africa after a couple of years. And that's when I landed the title Dredge Master.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Congratulations on being the first female dredge master. All right, so can you tell us what does it feel like working in a male-dominated industry? How do the males treat you? Do they treat you with respect, or you have to work 10 times harder to prove yourself as a woman?
It's sad because there was a time where I was just rolling my eyes about this male-dominated industry situation. It's sad, though, that it's still a challenge to date that you are in a predominantly male industry as a female. In my industry, there's only 2% of female participation globally, not just in Africa, globally. So as you can imagine, there still are females out there at sea that will be the only female on board, around maybe 36 male crew members. So it's still a challenge. However, it also depends on the kind of person you are. Obviously, when you're much younger, you get shaken entering into this territory full of men. But with time, and as you get to cultivate your experience, you grow confidence to be able to have the answers, have the right answers, and have a solid voice within your rank. So it is challenging still. Like I'm finding myself now, years later, I probably have over 16 years experience. And I now run my own consulting company in the oceans economy. I still find myself in certain boardrooms where I have to prove myself beyond a male counterpart. And it's still a challenge. So I think that things are shifting, but not as fast as they should, in my view.
Okay, that's great to hear. My last question was going to be what you're currently doing, but before you ask you that question, could you just tell people, I mean, for people who are watching, I'm sure they're wondering what is a dredge master. So could you just tell us briefly what exactly is a dredge master?
So a dredge master is a person who captains the kind of ships called dredges. So I'm qualified to navigate ships, to drive ships. My grooming came from container ships. Others would work on passenger ships. Others would work on cruise liners. Others would work on bulk carriers, on tanker ships. A dredger is a kind of ship. And if you are a dredge master, it means you navigate that kind of ship and you captain that kind of ship. So that's exactly what a dredge master is. I just happen to work in this kind of ship and I happen to navigate it. So that is what a dredge master is.
Okay, that must be interesting. And do you just operate in the shores of South Africa or you operate globally?
So the company I was hired only works in Africa, but there's dredgers all over the world. So after I had been to the container shipping line that I worked for, we were global. It's an international big container shipping company. And the dredging company, though, was only in Africa.
Okay. And which shores have you worked on, I mean, apart from South Africa?
Oh, wow. Senegal, we've been to Togo, Lomé, Libreville, Mozambique, quite a few. Please don't ask me about the global routes. Nonetheless, the container ships we worked on the West African run, so we would do Spain, Morocco, Port Saint Morocco, down to Libreville, Congo, and Togo. And the East African run would be Mauritius, Singapore, Madagascar. We did, and then all the way the stretch all the way up to China, Yantian. Oh my gosh, it's too much. And then the European, and we did the European run also. So yeah, I mean, just imagine ships going all over the world. Wow. That's where I've been.
That's a busy woman. Okay. You've been around for a while. So what are you currently doing?
Okay, thanks for the question. So after I had been to the ship, so first I was on the merged shipping lines, and then I moved to the dredgers. And then after that, I wanted to now start a family. And so I moved to the land side as one of the executives for the National Ports Authority. I worked as a maritime compliance manager. I stayed for a couple of years until certain things were not settling to me as an individual. I needed to make sure that I multiply in the space. A lot of noise came after me being the first, but I wanted to make sure that I'm not the last. And so I went and started my own company that is War Maritime Expert. War Maritime derived from women in maritime because there's only 2% of female participation in the industry. And so I wanted to contribute to that, to an incline of that stat. We consult in the oceans economy space, legal and compliance, training, CSI projects, and that's why I have come out to have found the Global Maritime Youth, my foundation. So War Maritime Experts is my day-to-day consulting firm, and Global Maritime Youth is our CSI project.
Okay, so how's that coming along? Are women, joining? Are you training more women now? And do you see the numbers increasing from 2% to 10% over the next couple of years?
Very possible. It's very possible. I've taken it upon myself, upon my hands, upon my shoulders, that I role model my industry. And with this, there's been good feedback. There's been good feedback from the youth. There's been good feedback from the younger generation of females. And there's been good feedback from females in business and females that want to diversify their careers. So I see the incline in the next couple of years. It's not solid yet, but I know for a fact that I am contributing to that incline.
That's fantastic. Okay, of course, it's not been rosy over the years for you to be the first female dredge master. Could you tell us what are some of the challenges you encountered on your way, to be, the first female dredge master in Africa?
If you decide one day that you're gonna wake up and make something of your life, and you decide to lead the way, you will, without a doubt, feel challenged as an individual, and you will be challenged by your externals. You will be discussed negatively. You will be dragged. Your name will be dragged, and certain doors will be closed right in your face because this is something that hasn't been done. The challenges have been with not only trying to enter into this industry, it has also been trying to make sure that I call upon my sisters to say, hey, let's do this. It's possible. It's not so monstrous. So I think that since I've become first in so many things, I was the first female dredge master. I was the first or youngest executive within my organization that I worked for. I was the first to now have the maritime consulting firm. I am still the first to have found in South Africa a foundation within maritime. So being first is coming with challenges of just trying to lead the way and not feel guidance and support. But it's fulfilling all at once because the feedback that comes from the youth and that comes from people who truly see your goal is fulfilling. So challenges, I call them maybe obstacles. Definitely being female, that is a challenge on its own. Being young is a challenge because some people think you don't have the experience. Being a person of color in this industry, in oceans economy, it's predominantly white men owned, and that is a challenge. But it's not to say it's something that cannot be done and cannot be tapped into, and it's not to say that I will be shaken in any way. We continue, we forge forward because the vision is much bigger, and that is to multiply.
I like that. The vision is to multiply much more bigger. Okay, Captain Lundy, as we wrap up the interview, could you tell us what is your advice to women, in South Africa and Africa and all over the world who are watching this interview and who want to, be in the same industry as you as? What is your advice to them?
It's simple. Define what you're looking for and ask for help. There's a lot of women that have paved the way in many, many spheres, in many fields, in many sectors and careers. Define your big picture and ask for help. I think that women are uniting more. Women are driving collaborative peer-to-peer efforts and mentorships, and there's nothing we cannot do. I think that we can do anything we want to do, only if we can be able to not come with raw information, to just come with a little bit of work and effort so that we can be able to be helped. I find that some people are not lazy, but some people expect others to pave the way for them and give them a silver plate, ultimate goal to say, come here, jump here, you'll be here. But I think that do the work, do the inner work, define where you want to go, and ask for help.
I like that. Ask for help. You heard it from Captain Lundy. All right. Thank you so much, Captain Lundy. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. We wish you all the best. We look forward to interviewing again in the future. And Thanks for coming on the show with us.
Thank you, Lekan. It's so good to connect with you again, my brother. Thanks for having me.
Same here, same here. And to our viewers who are watching, do not forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And till the next show from Captain Lonti and I, it will be bye.